I don't have to tell you the importance of sleep. You already know. Recovery, reaction time, overall just well-being. You've seen all the studies and all that stuff that says just how important it is. So it's not my job to tell you how important it is, because you already know. But my job today, I want to help you improve your sleep in a couple different ways. So I've got three main ways, three products actually, that can help improve your sleep right now. So I read a book back in 2019, and it's called Sleep, The Myth of 8 Hours by Nick Littlehales. I actually listened to the Audible version, so he's like a British dude, nice, soothing British voice, so highly recommend listening to it on Audible or getting the physical book version. But it's an amazing book, lays out a lot of aspects of sleep and practical ways that you can improve your sleep. But today I've got three things that he talks about in the book that I want you just to try for yourself to help improve your sleep, because like I said, we all know how important sleep is. So before I get into it, I just want to say I am not a doctor, I'm not a sleep coach, I'm none of these things. I'm just a soccer player who has read a book and has implemented some things in my life, and they've worked pretty well for me. So anything you do, before you do it, I would consult a doctor, whatever it is, someone who knows what they're talking about. I just want to tell you what I do and what works for me, and you can do what you wish, okay? So for all of these things, there are two that are pretty inexpensive and you could implement pretty soon because they're pretty cheap. And the other one I'd say is a bit more of an investment. So you might have to save up some money and try it out that way. But yeah, so these are the three things. For each thing, I'll first talk about the concept behind it and then what the thing is. And I'll also link all of them in the description along with that book by Nick Littlehales. Thing number one, back when our ancestors lived hundreds, thousands of years ago, whatever it is, there wasn't all the artificial light that we have nowadays. Nowadays we have street lights, our own lights in our homes. Even just 100 years ago, we only had like fire, like warm light that our eyes could see at night. And so having this artificial light, more this blue light, here in just recent years, our brain hasn't evolved as quickly as we've introduced this kind of technology of having all this artificial light when it's actually dark outside. So our brains have evolved to, when it's dark outside and when it's night, to start producing melatonin, which makes us sleepy. But when we have all this artificial light, when the light enters our eyes, we actually don't produce melatonin, so we're actually less sleepy. And the problem that I see most is light in your bedroom when you're trying to sleep, coming from street lights or whatever it is. That I usually think is the biggest culprit. But having any kind of light in your room at night will almost tell your brain that it's daytime, when, again, like I said, our ancestors, when they slept, there was no light. They literally just slept in darkness, because there was when it was nighttime, it was just nighttime. So for me, the one thing that I use every night is a sleep mask. So this one I got at Target just for like $10. Pretty cheap. I've had it for a while now and it's worked pretty well for me. But the biggest thing about this is it blocks out the light. And what I like about this one is that there's like little space in here, so it's not completely pressing down on your face. There's like space, like you can still like blink. But it's crazy when you put this on and you can open your eyes in it and just see darkness, the difference that it does just for your brain and just not seeing that light at night. So I take this, I use it when I sleep. Now I bring it whenever I go on away trips, especially hotels can be really tough because sometimes those curtains just don't block out all of the street light. So really good tool, like I said, $10, something like that. I know that there are some brands that sell them for more expensive and they've got more frills on them or whatever. But this one I got at Target, $10. It's worked pretty well for me. I would also say if you want to go a step above, which I've done in the past, is buy 100% blackout curtain. Try to find one that is 100%, because I've made that mistake in the past, that it says it's blackout, but it's only like 90% or whatever, and you put it up and there's still some light that shines in. So I would look for, like on Amazon, 100% blackout curtain, and you can just put those up on your walls. That's awesome too if you don't want to have something that's on your head. I feel like in the past I've been against having something like on my face, but it's pretty easy, not that big of a deal. Once you're asleep, like you're asleep, so no problem. But if you don't want anything like that, I would look up the blackout curtains. Again, it's a little bit more of a hassle to set up and to actually like get them up on your wall, but once it's set up, pretty much good. And so avoiding the artificial light at night and having the mask, for me, very good game changer. Okay, so second thing, when we breathe, and this can be anytime, day or night, it's really important that we breathe mainly through our nose, right? So in through our nose and out through our mouth, but mainly in through our nose. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I'm no expert, but he talks about in the book just how important nasal breathing is all the time, but at night as well. And there's another book, I think it's called Breathe by James Nestor. I heard him on Joe Rogan's podcast one time. Awesome podcast. I haven't read the book, but he talks about just how important our breathing is through our nose. And if you breathe through your nose at night, you're actually going to get better sleep. Like, it's better for your body. If you breathe through your mouth, it's going to be worse for you. I actually started doing this because I went to the dentist, and at the dentist, I think I had like some inflamed gums or whatever, and they asked me like, are you a mouth breather? And the only time I could think about it was just like at night. I'd always breathe through my mouth. And it was kind of at the same time I was reading this book, and in the book he actually talks about how there are people who use a certain kind of tape and you put it on your mouth at night, so you're forced to breathe through your nose all night. And I actually started trying that, and that is the second thing. It's this micropore tape. So the brand I have is like 3M micropore tape, but all you do is you literally just take a little piece off, just put it on your mouth, and it helps you breathe through your nose. So I think before I did this, I thought it was a little crazy, a little out there. But once you try it and you see how nice it is I started sleeping so much better just because of whatever effects it is breathing through your nose at night. But that has been a total game changer for me. And it's not like crazy strong tape. So if you had to breathe through your mouth for some reason, if your nose got plugged up, like, you can take it off super easy, no problem. I've been doing this for a couple years now, like I said, since like 2020. The past like 4 years, and it's worked wonders for me. And I've also seen a big improvement just like in the day when I'm not even really thinking about things. I find myself just breathing through my nose more, which again is way better for your health. You can check out that book, Breathe by James Nestor is the author, or even his podcast episode with Joe Rogan. They talk a lot about it. But nasal breathing, super important. It's helped me with my sleep at night, sleeping so much better. So would highly recommend. I don't even know how much this was. Pretty cheap. I've got a ton of things in here. One of them lasts you for a while. You only use just a little bit every night. So yeah, that's the second thing. And the third thing, one thing that can prevent us from falling asleep and staying asleep is just noises. Be that neighbors, pets, cars, fireworks, whatever it is. And for me, I like having some kind of like white noise at night as well. Usually if there's like a fan in the room, that usually helps me fall asleep. But if you're trying to get to sleep and you have, let's just say, family members who are still up and are kind of loud, or pets barking, or even you have like a roommate or something like that, it can be really helpful to have something that can kind of block out that noise. So for me, I have these, it's called the Bose Sleep Buds. I think this is like the second generation or something like that. But basically, you just slide this up, and there's two little headphone looking things, and basically you just put them in your ears at night, and there's an app that connects to them, and you can select, like, there's a bunch of different kinds of white noise. You can pick whatever you want. You can set like a volume, you can set an alarm to wake you up in the morning. And I know you might be thinking, like, why can't I just use my AirPods or my regular headphones? Well, these are like really small, really light, and just fit really nice in your ear to where when you lay on your pillow, like, you don't even really feel that they're there. Well, I feel like an AirPod kind of sticks out a bit more. You can only use them for sleep, which is pretty nice, like just to have something dedicated to sleep. Like they don't turn into headphones for your music or whatever. It's literally just for the sound effects for the white noise. So this was, I bought back in 2022, so 2 years ago, and it might have been about like $250, $300. So this is the one that's going to be a bit more of an investment. But if you struggle to fall asleep because of outside noise, this does wonders just to block out that noise and let your brain just kind of focus on the white noise and fall asleep that way. So would highly, highly, highly recommend if you do have family members, pets, roommate, whatever it is. I know you might be thinking it would be uncomfortable to have. For me, it's not really uncomfortable. Obviously, I would rather sleep without them in if I like didn't have, external noise or whatever. But the one thing that I find is I'll actually put them in when I fall asleep, and I'll take them out in the middle of the night without even knowing. But the biggest thing for me is just falling asleep. So it's like if I don't have them in all night, I don't really care because I'm already asleep. So it's nice just to know that I'm falling asleep, and yeah, I could care less if they're in all night because I'm already asleep. So I think there's also what I had when I bought them. There was a trial period, like a month or 2 month trial period. So you could literally buy these, try them out, see if you like them. I think it's only on the Bose website. So if you go on the buy them from Bose, not like Best Buy or something like that, but you can try them out for like 30 days. If you send them back within the 30 days, then you get your money back or whatever. But like I said, if you have any external noise, I think that this is a really good investment. But yeah, those are the 3 things that I use. I use all 3 of them every single night at the moment. So they're helping me right now to get a good night's sleep. I would say I'm sleeping pretty well right now, knock on wood. So just grateful to have these things and to have the knowledge out there, and an amazing book of from a sleep expert like Nick Littlehales, who is the author of that book I mentioned. But I'll include the book and these in the description so you can go check them out. And yeah, I would highly recommend that you read the book too and get it. It's probably only like $10 to $15. So you'll get a whole lot more than just 3 things that will help your sleep. But again, 2 of them are pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive. You could go buy right now, if you had $20, get you a mask and get you a whole box of tape. That'll last you for a long time. So for $20, you could just improve your sleep pretty drastically right now. And then if you've got the money for this, $300-ish, whatever it is, or just saving up, and that could really help as well. So I hope that this helps, and yeah, we'll talk soon.